America finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with accusations that strike at the very heart of its democracy. Former President Donald Trump stands accused of orchestrating a criminal conspiracy to overturn the 2020 presidential election. A bombshell court filing from Special Counsel Jack Smith paints a chilling picture of Trump's alleged efforts to cling to power, even as the will of the American people spoke clearly against him. The accusations are stark and deeply troubling. Prosecutors allege that Trump, fueled by a narcissistic refusal to accept defeat, engaged in a multi-pronged assault on the foundations of American democracy. They claim he pressured state officials to manipulate vote counts, spread dangerous lies about widespread voter fraud, and ultimately incited the January 6th Capitol riot in a desperate bid to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. This is not just another political scandal. It's a profound test of our nation's commitment to the rule of law and the sanctity of our elections. The evidence laid out in the filing suggests a calculated and deliberate attempt to subvert the very principles upon which this country was founded. Millions of Americans are left to wonder, did their president, sworn to uphold the Constitution, actually try to dismantle it from within? As the legal process unfolds, all eyes will be on the courtroom, where the fate of a former president, and perhaps the future of American democracy itself, hangs in the balance. The nation holds its breath, bracing for the potential consequences of this unprecedented moment in history. At the heart of the prosecution's case lies a mountain of evidence, meticulously gathered and presented in the court filing. Prosecutors point to a clear and disturbing pattern of behavior from Trump, one that suggests a coordinated effort to overturn the election results. This wasn't simply a matter of sour grapes or a bruised ego. It was, they argue, a criminal conspiracy. One key piece of evidence is a series of phone calls and meetings in which Trump allegedly pressured state election officials to find enough votes to reverse his loss. In Georgia, for example, Trump was recorded urging Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find 11,780 votes, the exact number needed to hand him a victory in the state. These calls, captured on audio recordings, provide a chilling glimpse into Trump's relentless pursuit of overturning the election results. Beyond pressuring officials, Trump also waged a massive disinformation campaign, repeatedly and falsely claiming that the election was stolen through widespread voter fraud. Despite numerous court rulings and independent fact checks debunking these claims, Trump continued to spread them through rallies, interviews, and social media posts, further inflaming his supporters and undermining faith in the democratic process. The prosecution argues that Trump's lies and incendiary rhetoric culminated in the violence of January 6th, when a mob of his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to stop the certification of Joe Biden's victory. They point to Trump's words that day, "Fight like hell," as evidence that he incited the riot. The filing presents a damning portrait of a president who, having lost the election, was willing to use any means necessary to hold on to power. One of the most contentious legal issues at the heart of this case revolves around the concept of presidential immunity. Trump's legal team argues that his actions, even if deemed inappropriate or unethical, were protected by this doctrine, which shields presidents from certain legal actions while in office. However, prosecutors are pushing back aggressively against this claim, asserting that Trump's alleged crimes fall outside the scope of his presidential duties and were motivated by personal political gain, not the national interest. This distinction is crucial because if Trump is deemed to have been acting as a private citizen during his attempts to overturn the election, he would lose the legal protection afforded by presidential immunity. Prosecutors argue that Trump's actions were not those of a president faithfully executing his duties, but rather those of a desperate candidate seeking to subvert the will of the people and illegally maintain his grip on power. They point to numerous examples of Trump pressuring state officials in their individual capacities, using his personal Twitter account to spread misinformation, and holding campaign-style rallies to challenge the election results, all while neglecting his official duties and refusing to cooperate with the incoming Biden administration. The prosecution's success hinges on convincing the court that Trump crossed a line, acting as a private citizen engaged in criminal activity, not a president carrying out his constitutional responsibilities. The battle over presidential immunity is likely to be fierce and will have far-reaching implications for future presidents and the balance of power. A ruling in favor of the prosecution could set a precedent, limiting the legal protections enjoyed by presidents and holding them more accountable for their actions, even after leaving office. Throughout history, the term witch hunt has been used to describe situations where individuals feel unjustly persecuted. It's a phrase that resonates deeply in the American psyche, evoking images of fear, hysteria, and injustice. In recent times, this cry has echoed once more, as various political figures claim to be the targets of baseless accusations and investigations. The use of this term is not just a defense mechanism, but a powerful tool to rally support and deflect criticism. It's a reminder that sometimes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. In the midst of intense political turmoil, a turning point emerges for American democracy. This moment is crucial as it tests the resilience of democratic institutions and the rule of law. The actions taken now will shape the future of governance and civil liberties in the United States. It's a time for reflection, for understanding the weight of our choices, and for reaffirming the principles that define the nation. With every decision, the course of history is altered, and the legacy of democracy is either strengthened or weakened. It's a pivotal chapter in the ongoing story of America's democratic journey,